Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our Sabbath class, the 12th of March, 2022. I'm gonna revisit Noah and the ark. So it's more, go a little deeper into that. I'm asking everybody to like, share, and subscribe to Prophets of Awakening channel. Hit the notification button if you can. And for those people that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. And we deal with the Tanakh, which is the Old Testament, the so-called Book of Remembrance, and Torah, first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai by the Lord of Hosts, our Redeemer. So I want to say shalom and welcome everyone to Prophets of Awakening, and welcome to our Sabbath class. We're going to do our moment of silence, Sabbath prayer, and our Psalms and current events and a little need to know information, and then we'll open it up for some Q&A comments. Okay, so this moment of silence is for Creator and His Lord of Hosts and all that they're doing to bring about our deliverance in these last days. Okay. So, O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servants David, Solomon, Samuel, and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad, for we know that you possess that power to turn us. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, keep your commandments and your testimony and your statutes with all your heart and soul, with all our heart and soul, to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophet. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people, and hear our plea. Hear, O Lord, and do. Hide not thy face from us, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. Read the Psalms. Okay, I'm gonna read Psalm 66. It's the great works of God, of Yahweh. Make a joyful noise unto God, all ye lands. Sing forth the honor of his name. Make his praise glorious. Say unto God, how terrible art thou in thy works. Through the greatness of thy power shall thine enemies submit themselves unto thee. All the earth shall worship thee, and shall sing unto thee. They shall sing to thy name. Selah, come and see the works of God. He is terrible in his doings toward the children of men. He turned the sea into dry land. They went through the flood on foot. There did we rejoice in him. He ruled by his power forever. His eyes behold the nations. Let not the rebellious exalt themselves. Selah. O bless our God, ye people, and make the voice of his praise to be heard, which holdeth our soul in life, and suffereth not our feet to be moved. For thou, O God, hast proved us. Thou hast tried us, as silver is tried. Thou broughtest us into the net that layeth affliction upon our loins. Thou hast caused men to ride over our heads. We went through the fire and through water, but thou broughtest us into a wealthy place. I will go into thy house with burnt offerings. I will pay thee my vows, which my lips have uttered, and my mouth have spoken when I was in trouble. I will, 6, I will offer unto thee burnt sacrifices of fattenings, with the incense of rams. I will offer bullocks with goats. Selah, come and hear, all ye that fear God, and I will declare what he have done for my soul. I cried unto him with my mouth, and he was exalted with my tongue. If I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. But verily, God hath heard me, and have attended to my voice of my praise. Blessed be God, which hath not turned away my prayer, nor his mercy from me. Okay, that was Psalm 66. This is the great works of God. Anybody have any comment?
Shalom.
Okay,
Yes, I would just like to say, praising his glorious, we see all through Psalms that it is, you know, uh singing a song,
right,
because of his glorious work. And there's nothing that, he cannot do for us. And we see that in this song.
right. Another thing about that is a witness. Once you get lined out with the proper understanding, you see that they are people always. Everybody can see that the African American uh, is different. He got all these talents, and
Right.
so we have these talents for this reason right here, to worship Him. We have the ability to sing. You know, we can sing different from everybody else because He gave us that gift uh, as a tool to worship Him. And another thing on there that caught my eye while I was reading it was, uh, you know, I keep showing the comparison how God in the Old Testament is different than one in the New. So verse 15 says, uh, the person that wrote the psalm said, uh, 14 says, which my lips have uttered and my mouth have spoken when I was in trouble. So he made an oath to God. Then 15, I will offer unto thee, talking to the Lord of hosts, I will offer unto thee burnt sacrifices of fattenings, and with incense of rams, I will offer bullocks. Then all of a sudden, you get in the New Testament, now you got to sacrifice his son. But right here, he's saying that all the Israelites already knew. They had to come in there with burnt offerings of rams and goats and all that to make the offering unto him. And frankincense and myrrh and all that. But now all of a sudden, now in the New Testament, you know, you got a son and you got to use the son. You got a man that he had from the beginning of time that's going to be sacrificed. But we see right here, rams and goats, he provided
Right.
for them sacrifice. So it's dead camera line. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna go into current events. Anybody got some current events?
Yes, I have a couple I would just kind of like to briefly read about. And the first one was on the cryptocurrency.
Okay.
How they were saying that Bitcoin went up 8% after Biden announces executive order on cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So they were saying that, the crypto is seeming to go up once Biden, announced that he signed that executive order, and they're
Exactly.
expecting for it to go up even, even higher.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So they were saying that that the executive order makes it clear the U.S. government is not banning crypto; it is embracing it.
Right. Right. Because they know what's coming.
Right,
They got to make a in order for this system that they've created is to go to the next level. You got to go to cryptocurrency. You got to go to some kind of digital currency. And they didn't. All these think tanks and got together. They realized that in order to compete with the emerging countries like China and Russia that's coming on the scene, they can't. You got, you're gonna have to do something with some kind of digital currency.
Right,
They're already
exactly.
falling behind. Yeah,
Right. And I think it said that he gave them like 6 months to, investigate and put things in place before,
right,
he actually comes out, with the, final decision of things.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. And another article I was reading this morning, which was in American Military News, was
Right.
talking about Russia's threatened to abandon U.S. astronauts on space station.
Right. Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, right.
Wow.
But the trick to that is, what Russia got to do with American astronaut?
Right,
So,
right.
so you say that they do have something to do with them. That means they working along with the Americans. Well,
Yes,
that's not the image they showing us. They're showing us that they're supposed to be at odds with each other.
right,
So,
right.
so something ain't right.
Some is exactly something
Right,
is not right. Yes, and it was saying that if they undock, from the station, that the American part of the project cannot exist.
right, exactly, right. So like I say, so you know, like the image that's being shown is that they at each other's throat all the time, but you got time to come together and do this right here. So yeah, right. Ain't there something?
It is. It
Right,
is. Yes.
right. Yeah, I was gonna shine a light on that other. When we was talking earlier about the cryptocurrency. Or no, I was making a statement that saying that um, you know these HR documents that they write up and bring to the public and these executive orders and all that. Like I say, when they want to shine a light on something or they want to enhance something, they come out with a document. Just like I said, with the HR 1242, they brought that document out. That's what escalated the 400-year thing because they wrote that document. Before they wrote that document, people was sitting around, they was dealing with that Genesis chapter 15, 400 years, but it escalated when they brought that when they wrote that HR 1242. They manipulating everything with these executive orders and all that. The U.S. government is. Let that front.
Right, right. And the reason, like you said, behind this one right here, like it says in this article, it says Biden's executive order attempts to address the lack of
Right,
framework for the development of
right,
cryptocurrencies in the US, which critics say could leave the country's industry behind the rest of the world.
right. So to shine a light on it, he did executive order.
Right.
Ain't no different than that than an HR document. Same thing. They've been doing that. That's all. That's
Mm,
all. Biden, I mean Obama and George Bush for him. That's all they did. They were one executive order after another. You sitting there fumbling with it, but all those things are having. They got some. They like arrows being shot out. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna. I got a couple of these. I got a couple of current events I want to shine light on. Okay. This first one is about Russia. What's going on this morning with the Ukrainian and Russian conflict. Okay, here we go. And like I said, go back to the propaganda because a lot of this stuff, what they're doing right now, is to take you in a certain direction.
Appear to be regrouping for a possible assault on Kiev. Authorities in Ukraine say rocket attacks have destroyed an air base near the town of Vasilki in the Kiev region. Its oil depot was also hit. Russia's defense ministry says its army is continuing its attacks on a broad front. Earlier, Ukrainian officials released CCTV footage of what they say is the mayor of the city of Melitopol being abducted.
Yeah, I want to shine a light on the fact that how we've been, ever since they created television and before, they use propaganda to take you in a certain direction. So to show a dead body and all that is supposed to be so horrific, so they try to avoid not doing that, right? But check this out.
Which you can see at the top of the screen here. Well, the latest intelligence suggests that Russian troops have advanced to within 30 kilometers of Kiev.
Sunrise in the capital has become synonymous with the sound of gunfire and air raid sirens. These satellite images appear to show Russian forces regrouping for a possible assault on Kyiv. The company that took them said they also show artillery firing towards residential areas, as well as burning homes and other buildings. Russia is expanding its military campaign across other parts of Ukraine, intensifying attacks on cities under siege and hitting new civilian targets with bombs and missile strikes.
That's like, see, they showing a lot of people ain't realizing, but they working on your mind with these images that they're showing you, and then they vilifying, they're taking you in a certain direction and making you come up to a certain opinion, and you ain't even really realizing.
Residents of this eastern town have been forced underground.
Yeah.
I hope that my relatives see me. My sister, my daughter.
The first thing you're looking at this, but your brain is doing a whole bunch of other calculating too, because it's saying, how can this dude do this to this old woman right here? Look at all this stuff in here, he tore all up. So you ain't thinking about all that, but these images is actually, working on you, and you ain't understanding it. If you're not understanding mechanics,
my grandchildren in Kyiv, and God knows where else, close or far away. I don't know where the war has put everyone into hiding. Those who ventured out of their basements find their homes destroyed. Still, they carry on.
Where there's life, there's hope, as they say.
As Russian forces move further west, hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians flee their homeland. But not everyone is able to. The city of Mariupol is now completely surrounded by Russian soldiers, and everyone inside is trapped.
I say this with pain. Mariupol remains besieged by the enemy. Russian troops did not let our aid into the city and continue to torture our people, our Mariupol residents. We'll try again to send food, water and medicine into our city.
Firefighters continue to try and save people from the rubble.
Yeah, working on your mind?
Ukrainian officials say more than 1,500 people have been killed. There is little chance that the Ukrainians inside Mariupol will see peace.
In the comments, they did the same thing with Gaddafi. They comment. Okay, so we go another one right here. Like I said before, I talked about this before. Like I said, since 2006-07, I was telling everybody that we're going to the West Coast Album because of what the scripture said, because of what the prophecy said. But that was a nutcase. Let's check this out. Okay. That said that the Americans wasn't going to release us. according to prophecy. It's just like it happened with the Persians. The Babylonians brought us into captivity, but it's the Persians that released us. It's right there in the scriptures. So the Americans came and got us from the West Coast. They ain't the ones going to let us go. We already see that. So let's look at it. Like I said, go back to the video I just showed you. They painting Putin as some big, and turn him into a villain. They did the same thing with OJ. The media did. No, bad. Let me go back. Okay. Here you go. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello fam, welcome back to the African Diaspora News Channel. I'm Wangel Zalalem bringing you this report. Today's report is about Russia's President Vladimir Putin's message to Ghana. Let me read you the article from iGambia. We'll come back and discuss. iGambia reported, President of Russia Vladimir Putin says the relations between Russia and Ghana are traditionally of a friendly nature. He made the remark in a congratulatory letter he wrote to the West African country on Sunday, March 6, 2022. Putin said, quote, the relations between Russia and Ghana are traditionally of a friendly nature. I am convinced that further development of a constructive bilateral dialogue and partnership meets the interest of our peoples, contributing to the peace and security on the African continent. Please accept my sincere congratulations on the occasion of the national holiday of the Republic of Ghana, the Independence Day. I wish you good health and every success, as well as happiness and prosperity to all your compatriots. Respectively, Vladimir Putin. I'm surprised.
Okay, so go back to Cyrus. Cyrus was a tyrant. Everybody, Cyrus was no good dude. Cyrus was a tyrant. Nebuchadnezzar was a tyrant, but the Most High used him. So listen to what he just said right there. What's the difference in what Cyrus said in Ezra chapter 1? Ain't the same thing. He ain't got no reason to be dealing with Ghana. See? But like the Most High got prophecies. And they're going to do what he tell them to do. Who'd ever expected that right there? That he writing this letter to Ghana telling them that, he their friend. And if he their friend, him and China connected at the pip. So that means China their friend.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Come on. Like I said before, this is gonna release us. And like I said, cryptocurrency ain't gonna be no American dollar. Come on. Play a little more.
That's what he did. He wrote them a congratulatory message when, Ghana publicly sided with the West, and they said that they denounce what the Russians are doing and the unprovoked attack. That's what they actually said. So the fact that Ghana sided with the West and said that about Russia and Putin is now congratulating Ghana on their Independence Day and the celebration, and he's talking about the relationship they have. So it is really interesting. I feel like President Putin is moving differently, right? Like we know him to be this guy that speaks his mind and he's not afraid of anyone, and a lot of leaders are afraid of him with the stuff he says, and we've talked about Putin quite a bit on this channel as well. So for Putin to actually send that during this time, public statement congratulating them, not saying anything about what Ghana said about Russia, it's really interesting. And people on social media found it interesting as well, because there was a whole conversation about what is going on right now with Putin and Ghana, and the fact that Putin never addressed what they said about him and said, we still have a relationship. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Really looking forward to hearing more.
You're gonna get more. You wait. Okay, so we got one more.
A massive wave of panic buying and hoarding continues to spread all across the world as people and governments desperately attempt to hoard food and energy supplies before a total supply chain breakdown. In the United States, drivers are risking their lives to stockpile gasoline in every container they possibly can find amid a sharp increase in prices. In the UK, authorities are warning that panic buying is going to make food and drink prices significantly higher. In some European countries, consumers are massively purchasing medicine as fears of nuclear strife intensify. Families are facing an extremely critical situation in Ukraine, with many on the brink of starvation. That's why food staples are flying off supermarket shelves, leading food retailers to reimpose purchase limits. Meanwhile, as the neighboring country collapses into chaos, Russians are panic buying McDonald's burgers, iPhones, Victoria's Secret clothing, and many other unusual products to resell for a profit. At the same time, governments across the globe are hoarding grains, vegetable oils, and fuel to prevent the emergence of food and energy crises in their respective countries. It seems like everyone is afraid of a supply chain disaster, and people are doing everything they can to stockpile before a global catastrophe occurs. We have a lot to discuss today, and before we move on, don't forget to leave a thumbs up in this video, and please subscribe to our channel to stay updated with the latest news. Almost a year after the last panic buying frenzy at gas stations, similar scenes are being repeated now all across America. Even before the confrontation between Russia and Ukraine began 2 weeks ago, gasoline prices were already climbing in the U.S. The conflict and the sanctions imposed on Russia by the West have only made the situation worse. Big names such as Shell and BP have already confirmed they will stop purchasing Russian oil following the aggression in Ukraine. This means that oil from other suppliers is also becoming significantly more expensive, and U.S. consumers are already feeling the impact at the pump. This week, gasoline and diesel prices have hit absolute record highs. Today, the average price for a gallon of gas nationwide reached $4.33, while diesel hit $5.13, both now at all-time highs, according to AAA. The group's spokesperson, Linda Lambert, revealed that AAA has already received several reports of people panic buying and hoarding gas. More worryingly, drivers have been filling up inadequate containers with extra gas. Lambert highlights that this kind of behavior is both dangerous because fuel is so flammable and unnecessary because despite the rise in prices, there's still plenty of supply.
Mm.
And
Any
you
comments?
see this little device right here? Well, I'm going to
Anybody seen the difference at the pump?
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Yes,
And in the grocery stores, we were talking about.
exactly.
When
I
did it
need to
start?
start.
When did it start? Right after the Russian thing?
It went higher after that, but it was creeping anyway. But it really got out of hand after the, news started reporting all this movement.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, you can see it getting worse. It's already bad in those cities, like especially on the East Coast. I mean West Coast. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna play this right here. This is the need to know information.
put it up and get out of your hair so you guys can see it. I do have a few words, so bear with me, please. I know I'm a mess. My lip busted. Literally can't get any worse from this point. So I have been doing a lot of reading and studying lately, watching videos here and there to educate myself on necessary truths, facts, and history that I should know as a Black person, as an African, all that good stuff, right? And I thought I should bring this information to the channel as well. So when it comes to knowing these truths and educating myself, I do not take it lightly as well, not for my own sake alone, but also for the sake of my children, because we want to be able to pass this relevant information and truths to our kids so they do not grow up like us, just navigating through this life without having the necessary tools and information that they would need to be strong Black boys and girls, right? I mean, we already know how dangerous it can be. I mean, life has shown us how dangerous it can be for a Black person to not know the truth about themselves, especially given the standard, that they put there, which is the direct opposite of Black people. And I say it's dangerous because it really is dangerous. It's dangerous for you as a Black person to not know who you are, like the caliber of people you are from, the strength you are from, the majesty you are from kings and queens. You are the it. It's dangerous for you to not know this, because when you don't know it, it's easy for you to start comparing yourself, right? It's easy to start looking at yourself like you are not the ish. It's easy to start looking at your complexion, your hair, your features, like you wish you had something else, right? So imagine you comparing yourself to other people when you are the ish, right? It's dangerous, and we do not want from our next generations, when we start having kids, for them to live like that. We want like this vicious circle to be ended. We want everything to have like a 360 turning around, and we need to reset, like literally. It's a mission long. She's not in the shower all day putting towel on her hair and in the mirror doing like this.
Africans, do you know why the main goal of colonization was to totally depopulate and involuntarily mix the entire African continent in order to repopulate it with other races? Well, I have a message for Black people. So if you're not Black, you can stay. But if you're Black, I want you to listen and listen good. The reason why history repeats itself is because the world is cyclic, and whatever goes around must come back around. There was a time that Africa ruled Europe for 800 years. And when I say ruled, I don't mean with guns and ammunition, but with knowledge, love, light, and Black excellence. So now, I want you, Black child, to know that we have cycled back to that time. A time when the kingdom of God belongs to the poor and the slaves, and mine is just to cut and raise. Yours is to step into your awareness of self. Yours is to go back within and get into union with your ancestors, your DNA. Get your ancestral membership back and remember all that you are. Because among you are the descendants of the likes of Mansa Musa, kings, queens. Among you are the DNA of the Talai, the tribe of the Lion of Judah. Among you are the inventors of the hieroglyphics. Among you are the architectures of the Great Pyramids, the incredible mathematics of the Ishango. Among you are the DNA of the Moors, the teachers of all modern European technology. Among you are the DNA that mentored great European philosophers like Pythagoras. As a Black person, the DNA of slavery and colonization is not the only DNA that you carry, and they know that. The ancient, great African civilization is still present and imprinted deep in your soul. They can burn all the books and ruin all the universities, but your DNA is present. Your memory is present. Your ancestral knowledge is present deep in your soul and is yours forever. All I want to say is that there was a time they wanted to wipe you all off or mix you all up, so there was no one left to remember. There was a time that remembering who you are would have been a great crime, and so the ancestors had you forget to protect you. But I'm here to assure you that it is now safe to remember the African royalties among you. It is time for Black people to experience the excellence of their own Blackness. It is time to awaken the extreme talents and excellence that are deeply rooted within you. It is now safe to show the world who you are. Go within and remember. Join into one with your ancestors. How do you connect?
Okay. Any comments?
I just think that it's, a lot of us that are wakening up now, and to, see people sharing these type of videos and things like that is very knowledgeable.
Right.
What the saying say, each one teach one, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we're having more people that are wakening up to the fact that we have lost, you know, in touch with our history.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Uh, did, did we talk about that? I know. Did we say that Mansa Musa? Was he Israelite? Or was he Hamite?
Well, he was he came out of the Mali Empire, and so
Hmm.
uh, when you understand that those nations that was on the west coast, they fled from Israel, and like I was saying before, they want you to think that the Israelites left in 70 A.D., but they wasn't. They left in 143 B.C. and went to the west coast. And so from 143 to 70 AD, Esau had stolen land. So that was Esau that was left in 70 AD. And then all you have to do is look at the map and look at Christianity, or the so-called seven churches is in Europe. That's the Edomites that's over there. The Israelites went into Africa.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? And that's why he
Mm-hmm.
said in the end, he's going to call his people from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. That's the west coast of Africa. That's where they went. That's where they fled to. Then they came and got them to fulfill prophecy. They came to the west coast and brought us to here. So that's what Deuteronomy 28 and 68 says. Come get us in ships and bring us here. And that's what happened.
Exactly what happened. Yeah.
We see how those people look over there in Europe. The Khazarians, them ain't no Israelites. So that tell you right there, them the people that fled in 70 AD. Right. Okay.
And I just want to make one more comment on, on that video. So much, what I want to say, damage has happened to us, right? And it's
Right.
not all going to go away overnight. It's a process. It's going to take time. So you have to start somewhere. Again, we're not in our natural environment like our ancestors were. We, eating all types of food, as black women, we put weave in our hair, all of that stuff. So that is a process, especially, when you're being awakened, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
you have to start somewhere,
Right.
you
Right.
know, to shed all of that off.
To undo that damage, you're
Yeah,
right.
to undo that. It's
To
not gonna
heal, because
be
it's like, yeah,
right.
post traumatic. What's that book called? Post traumatic. Is it post traumatic slave syndrome? It
Yeah.
is so good. That is so true. We've never had a time to heal from all of that.
Hmm.
So some of the stuff we're seeing with the weave and the lashes and
Right,
before that we were perming our hair because we didn't, they
we
had
didn't
us
know.
hating our
Right,
hair. So
right,
Right.
right. But
yeah.
it's again, it's a process, and you have to. It goes back to having the strength and the mindset to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, as I'm going to say, as a Hebrew Israelite woman, when you transition from the weave, the makeup, and all that other stuff, you got other people looking at you, judging you, saying, oh, what's wrong with her? Oh, why she doing that? She ain't got no makeup no more. But you have to be strong enough to stay in the process and carry on. If
Right.
not, you're going to keep
Right.
having setbacks.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. The way you apply that too is you just go back to Jeremiah 25 when he said that it's two baskets of figs. That's another thing that's going on that we not understanding. Even when they came out of Egypt, we know it was a wicked group of Israelites that came out. Most High is dealing with the righteous ones. So, like you saying now, the righteous ones, the ones that he's dealing with, they casting off all that stuff. He giving them a mind to start casting that off, but the wicked basket, they gonna cling on to it to the end. They ain't gonna give it up. But he got some that he deal with that he's waking up. That's they're starting to make the adjustments, and that's all part of being righteous. Is
Right.
he able to he says draw nigh unto me, and he started giving you these this understanding, and start causing you to shed a lot of stuff off that you don't you had never had nothing to do with from the beginning. And so that's him. When he says in Isaiah 44 that I'm gonna pour my spirit out on you, that's what that means. It's like America falling. If you understand how he worked, what go up come back down.
Yes,
You
sir.
got a beginning, you got an end. So, but they acting as if this ain't gonna never come to the America ain't gonna never come to the end. Just like all the other countries came to the end. Greece and Chaldeans, Babylonians, they rose and fell. So you shouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me get this right here. Shalom, sister. Okay. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody got any questions or comments or anything about something they want to talk about before we go into the topic? Yeah, I don't know if anybody saw this right here, but I'm gonna shine a light on this and then we'll go into the nobody have nothing, I'm going to the class. So you ought to be getting ready for this. Here you go. This was yesterday. Can you see that?
It's loading.
Yes.
So China locks down city of 9 million amid new spike. See that? All of a sudden out of the blue. Here we go. So China, this is where it started at. Locks down. Remember I told you they both on working together to collapse this place. China locks down city of 9 million. It's a new, jab, but not a new jab back on the scene. Spiking cases. So if he's over there, it's gonna come over here. China, and this is the last thing America needs. China on Friday ordered a lockdown of 9 million residents of northeastern city of I can't say that, but Changchun, among a new spike of jab cases in the area attributed to the highly contagious Omicron variant. Residents are required to remain at home with one family member permitted to venture out to buy food and other necessities every 2 days. All residents must undergo 3 rounds of mass testing, while non-essential businesses have been closed and transport links suspended. So you see how Russia did their thing, China doing their thing now. They back and forth. And they ain't gonna stop until they bring this place down. Ain't that something?
Yes, and they got this new variant that's out, which is called a Deltacron. And, I was reading a little bit on that, and they say it comes from a person being infected with the Delta variant and the Omicron variant. So they said that's how it came about, but they don't, have much on it right now.
Right,
It's just always one thing after another.
right. And so you can't you get how that works is they gotta mention it first. Like this right here. They gotta say this first for the rest of it to come to pass. Because if it just all of a sudden, people start falling out and all that, they're gonna say why? But they set you up by telling you this right here. Like I said before, they first thing they told you is they had some kind of link over there in China. Then the next thing you know, it's over in America. But they set you up first for that. That's
Right.
that's the purpose. That's the purpose of the news and the media. Yeah.
Exactly. If they saying that, then that's yeah.
Right. You're
That's
supposed to
what they're
be.
gonna try to
It's
sleep
coming.
over here.
Right. It's coming.
Hmm.
Ain't there something?
And I think when it comes, it's gonna come out worse because they lifting all these, mask mandates all over the place. They
Right.
setting it up.
Right. Everybody got their guards down.
Right.
Yeah. That's what that is. Right. And like I said, this place coming down, and people ain't paying no attention to it. They can't see it. It's coming down. So with
Right.
that being said, yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also wanting us to think things are gonna kind of go back to norm. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then they're gonna do a 1-2 punch.
Right. They setting it up. And then, like I said, we read in second Ezra, he told you he saved the three heads for the end. We're looking at three heads. Come on. So with that being said, nobody else have any comments on that? Okay, we're gonna go into the topic for discussion, and that's Noah and the Ark. We're gonna kind of revisit it. So what I'm gonna do first off is read out of King James, Genesis chapter 6. Okay, you see how they set us up. It says Genesis chapter 6. It says, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Uh, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children unto them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And God said that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continuously. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man, beasts, and creeping things, and the fowls of the air, for a repented man, me, that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. So it says, and Noah makes an ark. It says, these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with God. And Noah begot three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was corrupted before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, and all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shall thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, and the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. And a window shalt thou make to the ark, and the cubit shall thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shall thou set in the side thereof with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, even I, do bring the flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein that is the breath of life, or for under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee, and of every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort shall thou bring into the ark, and keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, cattle after that kind, and every creeping thing after every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. Two of every sort shall come into the ark to keep them alive, and take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him. So did he. So the first thing I wanted to shine light on is when you understand that uh, the, Torah. Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible. Okay, we got this from Noah. We got this from Moses. So these first 5 books was conveyed to Moses. He wrote it down. It was conveyed to Moses by the Lord of hosts. So he said, "What you talking about?" Well, I'm gonna read some more again. You'll see what I'm talking about. Start again. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, see that? So he's conveying this. So the reason I'm telling you this, the way you can read it in its proper context. It's conveyed. So it says, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days. See that? He's telling Moses this, Lord of hosts. There were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children unto them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of their thoughts of their heart was evil continuously. So this, what you're reading is somebody conveying this information, and it's being conveyed to Moses. So it's a Lord of hosts conveying this to Moses. That's why it's reading the way that it's reading. And like I said, so you have to understand that to get the full understanding of what's being, the information. Like I said, verse 4, it says, chapter 6, verse 4, there were giants in the earth. No, 3. The Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. So why is he saying that? Because he gave Noah 120 years. Noah preached to the people 120 years about the flood. Nobody ain't listened. So after that, he reduced the lifespan to 120 years because he gave them 120 years to react to what he was telling them about the flood and turn and repent. So, but not one of them repented. So it's a lot going on with that. Just like, so why didn't they return to him? We're gonna read that in Joshua, but Melchizedek, which is a title, all those men before the flood, they taught them this. So they was with the Most High because they taught them about the Most High. They taught them about heaven, but they rebelled against him. The Gentile, the man he created. I showed you in Genesis 6. These men came that we see he have listed before the flood. Seth and Enos and Mahalalel and all them. They was Melchizedek. They was teachers of righteousness. They had taught these people how to deal with the Most High, but it got to the time when around Methuselah, they rebelled against him. And so that's what this Noah doing. I mean, yeah, Noah and them is giving them opportunity to return, but not one return. So like I said, so after the flood, men begin to live up to 120 years. Because of the time period he gave them before the flood, 120 years. Nobody came. So now we're gonna go into Joshua. So can you imagine not having this book of Joshua and reading what's going on in Genesis chapter in the King James? So you be all messed up because you ain't getting the whole impact of the story. So I'm in Joshua. I'm gonna start reading in chapter 4. I think it's like 3 chapters. So it says, and all the days of Enoch lived, upon the earth were 365 years. And when Enoch had ascended into heaven, all the kings of the earth arose and took Methuselah. So check out what's going on. And look at what happened during the time of David. It says, and when Enoch ascended into heaven, all the kings of the earth arose, took Methuselah his son, and anointed him. See that? They was anointed way back here. They don't want you to know that. Yeah, they took just like when David died, they got Solomon. Solomon was anointed right here. And when Enoch had ascended into heaven, all the kings of the earth arose and took Methuselah. They took Methuselah, his son, and anointed him. So if you anoint him, it's the same oil. Same oil that's in Exodus chapter 30. He told them how to make it. See that? And they caused him to reign over them in the place of his father. And Methuselah, so it was a gap in between this process right here, the flood and all that, and it come back to that. It come back around when Israel become a nation again. They get a king and they start anointing again. That's all Melchizedek is, a king. So a king of righteousness. So it says turn from the good way either to the right or to the left. But in the latter days of Methuselah, here we go. The sons of men turned from the Lord. I just told you that. And they corrupted the earth. They robbed and plundered, this Gentiles, each other, and they rebelled against God, and they transgressed, and they corrupted their ways, and would not hearken to the voice of Methuselah, but rebelled against him. And the Lord was exceedingly wroth against them, and the Lord continued to destroy the seeds in those days, so that there was neither sowing nor reaping in the earth. But when they sowed the ground in order that they might obtain food for their support, behold, thorns and thistles were produced, which they did not sow. So let's look at that. So before, there wasn't no thorns and thistles. Wasn't no such thing as thorns and thistles, and there wasn't no such thing as a man having to plant nothing in the ground. The Most High was causing all that to come up. All they had to do was go out there and get it. But because of what they was doing, he made thorns and thistles start coming up out of the ground. Thorns and thistles wasn't there. So that's still going on now. And, we familiar with it. So it says, and the Lord was 7, and still the sons of men did not turn from their evil ways, and their hands were still extended to do evil in the sight of God, and they provoked the Lord with their evil ways, and the Lord was wroth, and he repented that he had made man, and he thought to destroy and annihilate them, and he did so. In those days when Lamech, the son of Methuselah, was 160 years old, Seth, the son of Adam, died. And all the days of Seth lived for 912 years, and he died. And Lamech was 180 years old when he took up Ashuma, the daughter of Elisha, the son of Enoch, his uncle, and she conceived. And at that time, the sons of men sowed the ground, and a little food was produced. Yet the sons of men did not turn from their evil ways, and they transgressed and rebelled against God. And the wife of Lamech conceived and bore him his son at that time, that the revolution of the year, right? So what you talking about? Well, he came to Abraham. He told Abraham and Sarah, it's the revolution of a year, Isaac gonna be born. We see it right here. It says, and the wife of Lamech conceived and bore him a son at the revolution of a year, right? This how you write Levi's scripture. So it's 14. And Methuselah called his name Noah, saying the earth was in those days at rest and free from corruption. And Lamech his father called his name Menachem, which I don't know how to say that, saying, this one shall comfort us in our works and miserable toil in the earth, which God had cursed. And the child grew up and was weaned and went in the ways of his father, Methuselah, perfect and upright with God. And all the sons of men departed from the ways of the Lord in those days as they multiplied upon the face of the earth, with sons and daughters, and they taught one another their evil practices, and they continued sinning against the Lord. I want to go back to 15 because, like I said, I think it says 15. It says the child grew. This Noah. The child grew and was waned. And he went in, look at this, he went in the ways of his father, Methuselah, perfect and upright with God. So there's a lot going on right there because he got a covenant with David, right? We know that David got, some of them boys is wicked as hell. But the Most High got a promise with David that he's going to bring out a righteous one. So this righteous one ain't just come out on accident. So it goes back to the day, like I said, the people that's turning from and starting to, latch on to the Most High and do his and turn to Him. They was already, he done poured the Spirit out on them. You different than anybody else. You ain't just happen to just start doing that. The Most High is behind you, just like right here. So he brought forth Noah. Noah ain't just happened to be perfect and upright. He brought him forth. It's like Solomon. And then later on, Josiah. In between all that, he got wicked ass sons that came forth. But he says that after so long, I'm gonna bring a righteous one. So that means that he got the DNA and all this part that's pertaining to the DNA. He got it on the end of his fingers. So why would you sit around fumbling with something when you see what he's capable of doing? He capable of bringing the righteous side. If he want to, he can bring another David. But that ain't how it go. But you see now how he's able to manipulate all this stuff. He's the creator of it. So he's able to manipulate it. So anyway, so 16 says, all the sons of men departed from the ways of the Lord in those days, as they multiplied upon the face of the earth with sons and daughters, and they taught one another their evil practices, and they continued sinning against the Lord. And every man made unto himself a god, and they robbed and plundered every man his neighbor as well as his relatives, and they corrupted the earth, and the earth was filled with violence. And their judges and rulers went to the daughters of men and took their wives by force from their husbands according to their choice. And the sons of men in those days took from the cattle of the earth and the beasts of the field and the fowls of the air and took the mixture of animals, one species with another, in order therewith to provoke the Lord. And God saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth, all men and all animals. And the Lord said, notice how they corrupted themselves. They mixed. See that? He taught the mixture. See that? Mixture. That's wicked as hell. The mixture of animals, one species with another. See that? In order therewith to provoke. So the mixing provoked the Lord. See that? And God saw, but you can't tell Negroes that today. So God saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt. Mixing is corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted its ways upon the earth, all men and all animals. And the Lord said, I will not blot out man that I created from the face of the earth. I will now blot out man that I created from the face of the earth. Yea, for man, the birds of the air, together with cattle and beasts that are in the fields, for I repented that I made them. And all men who walked in the ways of the Lord died in those days before the Lord brought evil upon man which he had declared. For this was from the Lord, that they should not see the evil which the Lord spoke of concerning the sons of men. And Noah found grace in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord chose him and his children to raise up seed from them upon the face of the earth. Two things I want to shine a light on. So he says that, verse 20, all men who walked in the ways of the Lord died in those days before the Lord brought the evil upon man which he had declared. For this, look at this, for this was from the Lord. So go back to what I just said. If you turning from the Most High, turning from evil ways and and the things that they didn't create upon the earth, and you ain't dealing with them, it's from the Lord. It ain't hard to figure out. It's from the Lord. This thing is from the Lord. And the other thing is that it says, and they taught the mixture of animals, one species with another, in order therewith to provoke the Lord. And God saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the face of the earth. So, like I said before, he ain't got, won't have nothing to do with that. We as humans, being rebelling against God, started doing all that to the point to where it's at now. So go back to when he told them to bring the animals on the ark. What you think he brought on the ark? He brought animals on the ark that wasn't mixed all up. They was mixing animals right here. So go back to the story. He told Noah, just go stand in the door of the ark, and they're gonna come to you. The animals gonna come to you. I'm gonna send them to you. So you think some mixed animals came up there that had been mixed and crossbred? No, righteous animals, the ones that he had made from the beginning, from the very animals from the beginning, from umbilical cord to umbilical cord. They came up to the and went on the boat. And then we see Noah was perfect in his generation, which means Noah wasn't mixed. From Adam all the way to him, he came out of that lineage. He wasn't mixed all up. So these folks have got us thinking
That's a
that
good point. Because I was wondering about that when they said perfect, because they always try to relate it to JC,
right,
saying that he had no sin, but it means because he was talking about, like you're saying, that animals and everything being mixed and corrupted.
right,
So
exactly.
it encompasses that he was not mixed up and he was not corrupted in that way. Yeah,
Right,
I never thought about it that way.
right. And then another thing too is, like I was saying before, 18, it says, and that judges, look at this, that judges and their rulers went to the daughters of men. Look at this. The judges and the rulers went to the daughters of men, took. Ain't that what the serpent did in the garden with Eve?
Yes.
He went there and he ain't going to drink Kool-Aid. He went there and had an encounter with her. So right here, they doing the same thing. And they took their wives. See, these men got wives. They went and took them for themselves. So it says, took them by force from their husbands, according to that's what Adam and Eve was married.
Wow.
He came in there and took him. So look at this. This is what I want to show you about I'm showing you how they did super slick and mix that all together. Talking about Shem, Ham, and Noah. Shem, Ham, and Japheth, his sons. So the sons of men. So this they countenance, these men right here. And the sons of men in those days took from the cattle. So what did Cain do after they got off the boat? He took Noah's wife. Come on.
Oh yeah, you mean once he was on the? Was it on the boat or after the boat? It's when
After,
they.
after the
Oh, when
water.
they got on land and he was drunk. Okay.
Right. So they
Okay.
want you to think that.
So they say he was drunk. Yeah, he was
Right.
asleep or
Yeah.
whatever.
They denigrated Noah. And then they put the act that happened on Ham, but it's Canaan. Canaan comes from these people.
Right.
And when you go back to Adam and Eve, the book Adam and Eve, he tell you what they was doing the same thing. They was going to mean these giants and descendants from the giants. They way stronger and more bigger than all other people. So they just go, if they see an attractive woman, take the woman from the man and keep it for themselves. So that was part of their customs. So that let you know that Japhet ain't none of Noah's son. Because he told them to get two of every male and female of all kind on the earth, put them on the boat. So Japhet came right over there and snatched up Noah's wife. That's how you get Canaan. Got a seed from it. So let's go all the way in on that. So he said Noah was perfect in his generation, right? Perfect from Adam, right?
Right.
And he told him to get a male and a female, a male and female all flesh, Cain descendant started in the beginning too. So Japhet is a direct line back to Cain. Ham, he a direct line back to the 6th-day man. Okay? Let that ferment. So anyway, I'm in chapter 5. Anybody got anything else before I go to chapter 5?
No, I was just gonna say this too. They try to make like he really done something good about, when they say he covered up her nakedness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like he right.
Right. Like I said before, it's right there in your face. Once the light gets shine, they tell you they went backwards. So they tell you right there, it's a woman there, but they ain't, they trying to glaze over it. So both of them went backwards and covered up Noah's nakedness.
Mm,
It's a woman there.
right.
He done, like he said right here, forced. It says the judges and the rulers went to the daughters of men and took them wives by force. That's rape. Come on. So chapter 5 says, and it was in the, so these words ain't here by accident. So I'm in chapter 5. And it was in the 84th year of the life of Noah that Enoch, the son of Seth, died. And he was 905 years old at his death. So for the people that's paying attention, that they're gonna come back, that's Enos. That's a miss. That they put Enoch there because Enoch ain't died. That's Enos. Enos is Seth's son, not Enoch. So anyway, verse 2. And in the 170th year of the life of Noah, Canaan, the son of Enos. See, there go Enos right there. Enos is Seth's son. Died, and all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died in 234th year of the life of Noah. Mahalalel, the son of Canaan, died, and the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared, the son of Mahalalel, died in those days in the 330th year of the life of Noah, and all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And all who followed the Lord died in those days before they saw the evil which God declared upon the earth. And all the lapse of many years, in 480 years of the life of Noah, when all these men who followed the Lord had died away from among the sons of men, only Methuselah was left. Being left, God said unto Noah and Methuselah, saying, Speak ye and proclaim to the sons of men, saying, Thus saith the Lord, return from your evil ways and forsake your works, and the Lord will repent of the evil that he hath declared to do unto you, so that it shall not come to pass. For thus saith the Lord, behold, I give you a period. See, here you go right here. I showed you in chapter 6 of Genesis, in the King James. For thus saith the Lord, behold, I give you a 120 years. See that? If you will turn to me and forsake your evil ways, then will I also turn away from the evil which I told you, and it shall not exist, saith the Lord. And Noah and Methuselah spoke all the words of the Lord to the sons of men, day after day, constantly speaking to them. That's for 120 years. But the sons of men would not hearken to them, nor incline their ears to their words, and they were stiff-necked. So there ain't nothing new under the sun. Same thing today. So you shouldn't get in the uproar because they ain't trying to hear what you got to say. Or, you know what I mean? Or they
Exactly what we're dealing with. Yeah.
right, exactly. Ain't nothing new under the sun. So the Lord granted them, and Noah was a just man. He was perfect in his generation. And the Lord chose him. See that? The Lord chose him to raise up a seed for his seed upon the face of the earth. He chose him for a reason because he ain't been contaminated. And the Lord said unto Noah, Take unto thee a wife and begot children, for I have seen the righteousness before me in this generation. And thou shalt raise up seed and thy children with thee in the midst of the earth. And the Lord went and Noah went and took a wife, and he chose Naamah, the daughter of Enoch, and she was 580 years old, and Noah was 498 years old, and he took Naamah for his wife. Naamah conceived and bore a son, and he called his name Japhet, saying, God have enlarged me in the earth. And she conceived again and bore a son, and he called his name Shem, saying, God have made me a remnant to raise up seed in the midst of the earth. And Noah was 502 years old when Noah bore Shem, and the boys grew up and went in the ways of the Lord, and in all that Methuselah and Noah their father had taught them. So to go back and look at this right quick, I want to show you something. It says, verse 17, Naaman conceived and bore a son, right? Called his name Japhet, saying, God has enlarged me in the earth, right? So watch this. And she conceived again, bore Shem, right? Go back to why he chose Noah. Perfect in the generation, right? Then she bore Shem, and bore a son and called his name Shem. Now watch this. Saying, God have made me a remnant. So why Shem? Why you ain't say Shem is a remnant? God, why Shem? Why you didn't do that with Shem? I mean with Japhet. With Shem, he said, God have made me a remnant. See that? To raise up seed in the midst of the earth. Why? Why God made you Shem to be a remnant? Because he made Shem because no one's perfect in the generation. Shem came from him. And so he said Shem is these back then they named the kids according to what was going on in their life. So he says, God has made me a remnant to raise up seed in the midst of the earth. Why? Because Noah was perfect in the generation. He don't want to contaminate it. He had Shem. Shem is a remnant. So if he had another son, if he had a son for him named Japhet, why Japhet ain't the remnant? Yeah. So think about that. Anyway,
That's a good point.
so 18. So Noah was 502 years old, and them were bore Shem, and the boys grew up and went in the ways of the Lord. And all Methuselah and Noah, their fathers had taught them. And Lamech and the father Noah died in those days. So all they're doing is going back to, like I was saying, these people that's reading our scriptures and they going back with previous things they didn't seen in our scriptures and placing them somewhere else. So he already said that Japhet in the latter days, Japhet gonna be in the tents of Shem. Japhet wicked as hell. He over there now in tents of Shem. So they came over here and said in 17, Naaman conceived and bore a son, called his name Japhet, saying, God has enlarged him. So he didn't already, this somebody done read our scriptures. See what I'm saying? This somebody done read our scriptures and injecting this in here. But you got to know that. Anyway, so, and all the sons of men who knew the Lord died that was before the Lord. Okay, let's see if I'm on back. Yeah. Okay. And all the sons of men who knew the Lord died that year before the Lord brought evil upon the earth. For the Lord willed them to die, so as not to behold the evil that God will bring upon their brothers and relatives, as he had declared to do. In that time, the Lord said to Noah and Methuselah, stand forth and proclaim to the sons of men all the words that I spoke to you in those days. Peradventure they may turn from their evil ways, and I will then repent of the evil, and will not bring it. And Noah and Methuselah stood forth and said in the ears of the sons of men all that God had spoken concerning them. But the sons of men would not hearken, neither would they incline their ears to all their declarations. And it was after this that the Lord said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me on account of their evil deeds. And behold, I will destroy the earth. And do thou take unto thee gopher wood, go to a certain place and make a large ark, and place it in that spot. And thus shalt thou make it 300 cubits of length, 50 cubits broad, and 30 cubits high. I read that already in King James Bible. So let me see if I need to read. Yeah, I'm gonna read chapter 6. Saying at that time, after the death of Methuselah, the Lord said to Noah, go thou with thy household into the ark. And behold, I will gather thee all the animals of the earth. See that? So, like I said, we just read where they was mixing animals. So he telling them right here. It's back to if you got any doubt, you with the Most High, with the Lord of hosts, or you not. So he says, At that time, after the death of Methuselah, the Lord said to Noah, "Go thou with thy household into the ark. Behold, I will gather all the animals." See that? So he going to get through. The animals ain't been contaminated. And he told Noah, "You just stand in the door. And they're gonna do these ones. I'm gonna send the ones that I've created to you by paths. They're gonna come to you." So it says, "And I will gather to thee all the animals of the earth, the beasts of the field, and the fowls of the air, and they shall all come and surround the ark. And thou shalt go and seat thyself," see that, "by the door of the ark. And all the beasts, the animals, and the fowl shall assemble and place themselves before thee, and such as the them that shall come and crouch before thee." See that? So he already know. We ain't got to be sitting around wondering if this animal got some more whacked out DNA in him or not. He Most High sent him to him. "Crouch before thee shall thou take and deliver into the hands of thy sons, who shall bring them into the ark, and all that will stand before thee thou shalt leave. All that will stand before thee thou shalt leave." They won't bow. The righteous animals gonna come and bow to him. That's how you know to deal with them. If they don't bow, leave them there. Right? It says, "And the Lord brought this about on the next day. And the animals, beasts, and fowls came in great multitude and surrounded the ark. And Noah went and seated himself by the door of the ark, and of all flesh that crouched before him, he brought into the ark. And all that stood before him, he left upon the earth. And a lioness came with two whelps, male and female, and the three crouched before Noah. And the two whelps rose up against the lioness, smote her, and made her flee from her place. And she went away, and they returned to their places and crouched upon the earth before Noah. And the lioness ran away and stood in the place of the lions. And Noah saw this and wondered greatly. And he rose and took the two whelps and brought them into the ark. And Noah brought into the ark from all living creatures that were upon the earth. So there was none left but which Noah brought into the ark. Two and two came Noah into the ark. But from the clean animals and the clean fowls, he brought 7 couples, as God had commanded him. And all the animals, the beasts, the fowls, were still there, and they surrounded the ark at every place. And the rain had not descended till the days after, 7 days after. And on that day the Lord caused the whole earth to shake, and the sun darkened, and the foundation of the world raged, and the whole earth was moved violently, and the lightning flashed, and the thunder roared, and all the fountains of the earth were broken up, such as was not known to the inhabitants before. And God did this mighty act in order to terrify the sons of men, that they might that they might be no more evil upon the face of the earth. Okay, so the thing I wanted to shine a light on was, notice it's going to be a great violent shaking of the earth before Ezekiel 37. That's something to consider. So it's like like blowing over a shofar. When that happens, it's a signal, because like I said before, all these righteous people, they planted the earth. So when it's time for him to bring them forth, it's going to be a violent shaking of the earth. Something to think about. Anybody got any comments?
I have a question. What's going on in verse 5, 6, and 7? Can you go into that a little bit more?
What chapter?
6, in chapter 6 that you just read.
Okay. Let me get it. Says, oh yeah, that's the like I said, evidently it was okay. If you go back to what these angels capable of do. I talked about that before, that these angels was able to enter into, they able to enter into the Most High creation. They can enter into animals, right?
Okay.
So look what he told him. They're gonna come and bow to you, male and female, two of a kind, right?
Right.
So look what happened. And the lion is a female lion with two whelps. One of the whelps is a male lion, the other one is a female lion, right?
Right.
So what you got right there is two females and one male. He told them male and female, one each. So it says male and female, and the three crouched before him. See that? And then the two whelps, these are two he chose. The two whelps rose up. It's the Most High doing this. Rose up against the lion as a smart her, ran off. Then the two of them came back. See that?
Yes, I see that. But am I not getting an understanding of what whelps mean? Like those were her babies. Like,
right.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't for her to get on the boat. It was for the boy, the male and the female whelps to get on there.
Wow.
So he put a spirit in those two and ran off. So she went back. Then they came back. Look, it says, and the two whelps rose up against the lioness, and smote her, and made her flee from her place. And she went away, and they returned to their places, crouched upon the earth before Noah. Noah knew they was the two to go on there. Huh?
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
And so that goes back, like I was saying before, not being able to recognize the Most High in stuff. He steady working the jelly all around you. You steady falling with it. You over there, you drinking a Coke, and you can't even see he doing it. He working the jelly, and you can't even see it. You falling with it. He constantly doing all kind of stuff, but because we lacking the knowledge and lacking the focus, we ain't seeing it as he's him. He's the one doing it. Yeah. So he told, if you go back to Deuteronomy, he told him, meditate on me day and night. Not just on Wednesday or on Saturday on the Sabbath. He said, meditate meditate on me day and night. Read the scriptures and find me in the scriptures day and night. Ain't that something?
Yes. And something else, I noticed through this story is that, Noah did exactly, what the Lord said when it came to building the ark. He didn't do anything any different. Now that just really shine a light on, so much, from being stiff-necked, the whole 9 yards, because we just fumbling with the Lord. We playing around with him, not understanding that whatever he does is perfect.
Right.
It's perfect. We may not agree with it. We may not like it or whatever the case may be, but if he's involved in it, he's doing it, it's perfect.
Exactly.
And it's a reason for it.
And it's a reason, yes.
Right, that's the point right there. It's a reason for it. We fumbling with it, thinking that, like I said, you want to put modern technology and all that because of what it had done on the earth and changed it. They're thinking that it's got to be some new commandments and so whatever, but it's the same commandments. All this stuff here all this stuff that arose recently called the technology don't change the fact of the Most High commandments.
Right.
Right. But they want to make you think it's something new. It's just like he said, 2 men is an abomination. Because we in 2022 and they trying to make that accepted, and Obama come out and write a bill and all that, executive order, that don't mean nothing. It's still, Most High got a problem with it. You can't make something good, he said, bad. You can, but it's going to be repercussions to it.
Right. Right. Look at what he did, you know, with the way that things were sowing. You know, he turned it into something totally different.
Right.
You know, they
Exactly.
just wasn't appreciative. He turned it into something totally different.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And then we just constantly keep on trying to make it, trying to flip the script, and then right. I mean, that like I said before, you got to imagine, a woman of color or a man of color, and you end up in a marriage or relationship with somebody else outside of your nationality. Well, that's disrespectful to your own self, because you ain't gonna. I mean, especially the man, you ain't finna get no. The boy ain't gonna look like you. The kid ain't gonna look like exactly like you, because you went outside of your DNA. So you harming your own self, because the kid ain't gonna be like you is.
Right. Especially now with having the understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why I said we was just so thrilled running around
Right.
out there in the world, and we can see that, you know, the choices we was making was not great choices at all.
Right. Exactly.
But on the same in the same vein, the people back in the day who, we were moved, we were slaves, but they had a greater understanding. They had their language. They had
Exactly.
people that walked with them, that told them what the Lord was saying. They saw the works of the Lord, and they still intermingled. That's the same thing that happened in the garden that put us in the state, and they continued to do it. And so
Right.
when they do it now, like the man that's over in Ukraine last night, it's just like, what is, I just think, it's something. This was before the curses they were doing it. So I mean, to me, I'm not surprised. I'm sick of seeing it. But
Right.
it's so many. It's a lot of them waking up. They know that all the tribes are black, and we're not supposed to intermingle, because you change the creation. You change, like you said, the DNA, the essence of the person that God created,
Right.
and that's what He's talking about. The whole all the way through the Bible. It's all the way
Right.
through the Old Testament. He's telling these people, and that's what happened with Solomon. That's
Right.
happened with what's the guy that can't think of his name, the one that had the locks, and the Delilah, and all these, and
Now,
these parents,
Samson.
Samson, and they told all, it's just like over and over, they are drawn to this. Well, we know now that it's angelic, flesh, and this
Right.
this like that's how Satan,
Right.
tricked Eve, because so they don't even, like some of them, like, I'm not attracted to black women.
Right.
So when they say that, I just know it's a spirit in them. And
Right.
so how can you not be? It's like they hate themselves. They don't want.
Right.
They haven't met every black woman, but they don't care if she's, what she looks like, dark, light, caram. It's just if she black, because they hate the melanin in their bodies. That's a blessing. They rather go with the angelic DNA, or the just because they could be. And most of the times with the men, the women, like the one that was in that video, the woman's not even beautiful. It's just she got white skin. So it's
Right.
like they hate the melanin in their skin. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a sickness. It's a sickness. It sort of goes, like that's post-traumatic slave syndrome. But at
Right.
the same time, they were doing it in the biblical days too. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know what it is. It's a draw. But
Right.
Right.
women don't tend to have it, I thank God. I mean, usually when a woman goes out, it's because the men are being like they're being.
Right.
They shouldn't do it, but it's not that they hate their own skin. Men are tended to do it because they are attracted to. I mean, most black women, like, it's like the Lord put that in us, to desire our own men.
Right.
Because if He hadn't done that, we'd be gone. It'd be done.
Right.
It'd be done by this point.
Right.
Right. You got another thing about that. The crazy part about it, the irony of it is, she attracted him cause of his skin color. That's the crazy part about it. So, and it's when you go back and look at the history of it, that when they look at that uh, man of color, it's a lot of things go along with that. The reason why they're attracted to it. So the very skin that you in, that you tripping on, that's what the white woman is attracted to that. So how crazy is that? You denying it, but at the same time, the reason why you got it is because you are a black man. So that's crazy.
Exactly.
You
And now it's got videos out where the white women are exposing them, saying, how can you hate the same thing you are? And it's
right,
so sickening. It's like they
right,
are seeing, like, what is this about?
right,
That, they don't realize they're making themselves look stupid.
right,
You put me on a pedestal because I am not black, but you black. And
right,
you're saying that you're just not attracted. When you say what they say when they say a preference, they say a preference is when you have a preference over two things.
right,
But with this uh, large group of people nowadays, a lot of these group of men, these black men, it's not a preference. They don't. It's not two. They only want that. Black ain't even on the table. So it's not, again, it's not a preference. They say it's a preference. Preference means you like both, but you like this one more. They don't
right,
even like their own.
right,
And it's weird. It's not a preference. It's that you deny anything that resembles you, that would recreate you. So what
right.
you're doing is you're whitening yourself out on purpose.
So
Because
Right.
you don't want to create anything they don't want to create a child that look like them. This
Right.
one rapper was saying, I don't want nobody black as me. They hate their skin.
right, and
Sad.
like I said, the irony to that is it goes back to what the lady was saying on the poetry was the white woman want to be the black woman because when they walk up, they're always talking about how your skin look. They want to touch your hair. They want to touch his neck because that's what they
Okay.
want to be. That's what
Right.
they want to be.
No,
It's all crazy. It's messed up. It's whacked out.
the black woman is getting the weave and the lashes because they
Right.
think that's what the
Yeah.
black man wants, because the black man is going to the white woman.
Yeah.
So they saying, well,
Exactly.
if I had some hair like the white
Right.
woman, but the white woman is going to get
The lips,
surgery. I mean,
butt,
we just
and all
black
Yeah.
that.
women
Right.
just doing weave. They going to get
Right.
butts, lips,
Right.
Right.
tanning. They doing so much more than we're doing, and they don't understand. I mean, it's black women don't understand. Well, a lot of black women are going back to the natural health movement, but they're so damaged by what the men are saying about them that they're putting all this stuff in their hair because they think that's what the men want.
Right.
They're trying to what is it? Appeal to the men. And these men are sick. They're not gonna want them just because you put on what they want, that skin, they want that whatever they think is better than them, that's what they want.
Right.
If you like them, they're not gonna want you anyway because they hate themselves.
Right.
So you can't doctor up and be a white woman when it's a white woman over there. You trying to emulate something because they seem to be drawn to that when they're sick. Just, let
Yeah.
it go, because I mean, I think the Lord is kind of, you know, dealing with the men, because there's a lot going on in that realm. The women are, I think, being protected right now. I think a lot of women are waking up,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of men that are waking up, but not. And then, like you said, you're separating the ones that are stiff necked, because there's a whole bunch of them, and leave them over there. That's like the one over there. What he over in Ukraine for? That's a
Right.
joke to me. Why
Right.
are you over there? It's just sad.
But
Right.
the thing
I
is,
think. Go ahead.
no, sir, go ahead.
Not go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I think the thing is with that, when our black men, see that, we have these women out here that are stiff neck and not wanting to listen and talk over them and rule them and feeling like if it's not my way, it's no way. They still trying to deal with them and save them. Like it's like you were saying the other day, it's time out for that.
Oh yeah.
It is time out for that.
Right.
And then when I have seen this when you see, black men and they see the black woman is trying and she's trying to go back to her natural state, her roots and all that. They feel in a certain type of way because they want her to look a certain type of way, to make him shine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, why are her hair like that? Oh, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking like that? You know?
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's a like I said, when I was just reading it, he said it's from the Lord. So you go back to there's a passage in the book of Enoch where he said the four angels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Phinehas looked down upon the earth, right? And they saw that it was corrupt. So that means they outside of the earth. So it's the matrix. These people have created a matrix down here, and that's what's bringing all the drama. But if you ever get to the point where you're standing outside that matrix, you're blessed because these people live 60 to 70 years and they never get outside of there. They started doing things that was introduced to them. They never sit back and have no time to reflect and see that this crazy. What I'm doing, I gotta cut this off. I gotta do something else. They don't never get to that point. To where they step outside the matrix.
Right.
And look in at it, and then you can maneuver. So whether you're a black man or a white man, a black man or a black woman, if you're a black woman, you're looking for that man standing outside the matrix.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a black woman, black man, you're looking for that woman standing outside the matrix.
Right.
So you got somebody that's caught up in the matrix, you ain't got nothing. They told.
Exactly. I'm just thinking we in that line, like you saying, taking our hair, which is our uniqueness,
Right.
Our uniqueness, and taking the life out of it by putting, these chemicals to try to look like those Neanderthals.
Right.
Our hair doesn't even, like they said, our hair is, unique. I remember one lady was saying, I don't know why the Lord gave us this horrible hair. That's
Right.
how the old people used to think. Why we got to have this kind of bad hair? When
Right.
we were the ones with that glorious hair, our hair is alive. It stands up. Their hair is limp and it's like animal
It's
hair. It's like
big.
fur. And we
Right.
don't see the beauty in it. And that's what the problem is. The men see the long flea infested hair as something beautiful because they don't have it. And because it's long. I mean, the life that's in black hair now, I think a lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are, but it's just that the damage is so, like you talking about earlier, Michelle, the damage is so deep
It is. It
that it's like coming out of a tunnel or a hole or something for them to see.
The thing about that is all you have to do is look at the mechanics, leaves on the tree. So how did the tree get its nourishment from the roots, and then it's in the leaves. So all these talents and characteristics that we have that make us different. Where is it coming from? It's coming from the hair, the head. It's receiving from the sun and all that, and it's coming into you. So how can it be? That's crazy. Yeah.
Somebody called it our antennas. It's like
Yeah, that's what
when we dull that down or we change that
right.
and mess that up, we can't receive
Right.
what it was intended to. Our hair is like
Right.
a portal. Like Toya said, the leaves. It's the extension, and we need. That's why it's pointing where it's pointing upward. Our head
Exactly.
don't point downward.
Right. It's doing the same thing the grass and the trees and everything that's on the planet doing, reaching up for the sun.
Right.
Yeah. It's not no different. It's like I said, look at the mechanics. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna play this right here and I'm gonna close out.
Now, in your homes, the pictures of God that you have is what color? Be honest, tell the truth and shame the white man. What color are the pictures on the wall in your homes? White. And what color then is the devil? So if I kill all of you, I have fought the devil, won't I? Doesn't it make sense? If I am a Christian and they say onward Christian soldiers, if I am a soldier of Christ, my job is to fight the devil. What does the devil look like? Isn't it black? When you go in a military college, the sabao, when you are learning how to shoot, the target practice is what kind of head? It's a black head. So it is no wonder that black people hate themselves. Because every time you see God, you are not thinking of your sister or your mother or your uncle. You are not thinking of Kiurankuba as looking like God. No. You are thinking that somebody else, not you, looks like God and you look like the devil. And most of the time, if I look like the devil, I am told I'm the devil, then I act like a devil. I don't want to disappoint people. People thinking that, I'm a wonderful person. They called me a devil. Let me try to live up to the part. That's what psychology says. But I'm here to tell you today, number one, that when God created the world, there were no white people at all. There were no Chinese. There were no Indians. There were no Italians, no Romans, no Germans, no Poles, no Finns, no Swedes, no Goths, no Vandals, no Visigoths, no Vikings. There were only black people. Only black people. They were probably at the time darker than you. So, if you read any sacred text and it says that you are created in the image of God and in the likeness of God, it means God is what color? Black. And anytime anybody gives you a God who doesn't look like you, you give him that God back. You say, you know what? Yeah, your God looks okay, but just take him. Because at the dawn of time, there were no other people on earth but us. Now, and the most interesting story is that story unfolded around this river that passes it through your district. The Nile. That is where humanity began. To the extent that UNESCO, United Nations Educational Scientific Committee Organization, in volume 2, chapter 1, it says, as a result of the work of Professor Like and other subsequent work, it reads as conclude that more than 150,000 years ago, beings morphologically identical with the man of today were living in the area of the Great Lakes, at the foothills of the mountains of the moon, at the source of the Nile, in the land of the gods, and nowhere else. UNESCO, nowhere else.
Okay. You think so?
Yes, okay.
Okay. I'm gonna say shalom to everybody. And see y'all this evening at evening Sabbath class at 6 o'clock.
Yes, enjoy the class, everyone.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.